After public companies hold earnings conference calls, a number of third parties will transcribe the calls and sell them or offer them free. And sometimes a company will post a transcript of its own conference call on its IR webpage. Many companies also post an audio archive of their earnings conference call on their IR webpage too for a limited period of time. Today on Zippy Point. I'm Brock Romanek. I'm a big fan of yous. So the quarterly earnings call is one of the more important communications that companies give to the market. It gives a snapshot into how the company is doing, and sometimes even gives a sense of how management feels like the company might perform in the near future. So these calls can really move a stock price. For those that missed the live call, investors can review what transpired by reading a transcript or listening to a replay of the call. The SEC doesn't require that companies archive earnings calls on their IR web pages, which I find a little strange given how important they are. So archiving is not a requirement for the filing exemption in item 202 of Form 8K. See my separate Vid-Guide about how to file a Form 8K for the earnings release, a link to which is beneath this video. However, when the SEC adopted the item 202 8K conditional exemption in 2003, it recommended that companies keep earnings calls archived on their websites, on their IR web pages for 12 months. That recommendation is in footnote 61 of the adopting release. Always read the footnotes. I haven't seen a survey conducted in quite some time about whether companies are actually following the SEC's recommendation, but the last time I did so was about 7 years ago, and I found that 40% of the companies out there were archiving them for a period of a year, 30% archived them for 1 quarter, 10% archived for longer than a year, 10% archived for 2 to 3 months, and 10% didn't archive at all. So let's look at some examples of what companies are doing. And these are the bigger companies that I pulled as examples. Facebook has the audio, transcript, and slides for their calls for exactly 1 year on a rolling basis. Amazon has 1.5 years of the audio and slides, but the slides for an additional year. Intel has more than 2 years of audio archives. Prudential has more than 2 years worth of transcripts. Coca-Cola's transcripts go back more than 5 years, and they also have the audio posted. Southern Company has audio archives that go back for 4 years. So let's talk about the third parties who offer transcripts of earnings calls. The last time I looked into this, all those companies that were doing it are either not doing it anymore or the companies are defunct. It's been a complete turnover for the most part. Motley Fool has transcripts posted for free. I don't have any idea how many companies though that they're covering. S&P Global says it has a machine readable transcript for over 11,000 companies. That costs money. Seeking Alpha has them also. That costs a couple $100 per year. Alpha Street, you can also get transcripts from them. I have no idea how many companies they cover, just like all these other examples. And then a company called Rev, which is actually a transcription service. They have transcripts for the top companies. It's a great marketing idea for them to offer transcripts about this topic because that's what they do. Of course, you have Bloomberg, FactSet, Dow Jones Factiva, and let me know if you know any others.